I was the Crown Prince Ronan Kent's most obedient, most well-mannered girlfriend, ever. The night before the female lead confessed to him, my supporting female role plotline finally wrapped up. I was so thrilled that my best friend and I popped champagne all night. Wearing high heels every single day had been killing me, and I still had to keep up that half-dead, barely alive act 24/7. Freedom at last. The Crown Prince, who happened to witness this scene, fell silent. I didn't notice that the system in my head had gone quiet as a chicken. The next second, my nape was seized. Ronan narrowed his eyes dangerously, bent down, and breathed against my ear. Playing me, HM? The air went dead silent. The hand holding my wineglass stiffened instantly, my smile freezing on my face. In my head, I screamed for the system like a maniac. System, save me. What do I do? What do I do? The system stayed silent, like it was dead. My best friend lowered her head too, staring at the table and pretending to be a quail. I could only force out a dry laugh. I was kidding. I drank too much. I've been in a bad mood lately, so I came out with Monica. Ronan Kent couldn't be bothered to hear me finish. He pinched the back of my neck and hauled me away. My eyelids twitched like crazy as I shot Monica frantic looks. She wore a solemn, mourning expression and waved a tissue at me. I'm done. What's the most tragic thing in the world? Working your ass off to keep a persona, only to collapse right on the eve of Revolution's victory. I trailed behind Ronan with my head hanging. In the end, I was so bored that I started stepping on his shadow for fun. Ronan's voice was cold as ice shards. Come here. Out of habit, I slipped into my old persona and wheedled, oh, that's not appropriate, Don't make me say it a second time. Seriously. You're this old and your temper's still that nasty. I rubbed my nose, guilt prickling. Since running away had failed, I could only shuffle over to Ronan at a snail's pace. Ronan didn't even spare me a glance. In a flat voice, he said, explain. I played dumb. Explain what? You tell me. Ronan suddenly stopped. I slammed straight into the faint scent of cedar. I lowered my head and rubbed my nose, trying to keep playing dead. Sarah Hope. Ronan's voice was actually beautiful, low and lazy, threaded with a tender, husky drawl. He rarely called my name. When he did, he usually only gave me a look. I immediately sensed disaster. Ronan was dressed in a black suit, like he'd just come from some banquet. His hair was slicked back, revealing a smooth, handsome forehead, and his refined, slightly aggressive features were on full display. You were putting on a pretty good act before. From above, he met my gaze with a half-smile that wasn't quite a smile. Since you want to act, I'll act along with you. Is this what a devil sounds like? Even though we were boyfriend and girlfriend, Ronan and I had always slept in separate rooms. I'd even gossiped with the system before, asking if he had some kind of condition. Back at the villa, I showered and flopped onto the bed. Host. The system, which had been playing dead this whole time, finally spoke up. I pretended not to hear it, my fingers flying as I typed furiously to Monica, dumping my misery. It wheedled in a cutesy voice, Host, I was wrong, wah. I was scared too, okay. Goosebumps exploded all over my skin. Talk normally. Ronan found out I've been faking my persona. What do we do now? One human and one system fell into silence. Host, how about, we just maintain the status quo for now. Anyway, his storyline with the female lead definitely won't change, and he can't really do anything to you. During the mission, Ronan had been icy toward me, but he didn't seem like the domestic violence type. I stared at the jewelry and gems covering the entire vanity, thought for a moment, then nodded sadly. Fine. Let's drag this out. We'll see who outlasts whom. Early the next morning, the alarm rang nonstop. Reflexively, I sat bolt upright. Ronan would be getting up soon to go to the company, and every time, I would wake up early, prepare his clothes, tie his tie, then send him out the door with eyes full of love. To keep my virtuous girlfriend persona intact, I'd gone insane with the system under the covers on more mornings than I could count. Now, half asleep, I remembered something. Didn't my persona already collapse last night? If that's the case, I lay back down with a clear conscience, wrapping the blanket around myself tight. It's not like he's short one girlfriend to tie his tie. Ronan, who was about to leave and still hadn't seen a single shadow of me. His eyes darkened as he stared at the tightly shut door. After a long while, he snorted a laugh. Ronan looked aloof and cold-blooded. In reality, he was exactly that, aloof and cold-blooded. He changed girlfriends like he changed clothes. And yet people still rushed at him one after another. After all, the eldest son of the Kent family, once you latched onto him, you'd skyrocket in life. In the capital's elite circle, I was publicly known as Ronan's most obedient, most well-mannered one. Because I loved him so much and was afraid he'd replace me too quickly, I never threw tantrums, and I never asked about anything outside. Those rich boys even suspected that even if Ronan were in bed with another woman. If I saw it, I'd only cry, tuck the blanket around them, and then close the door for them. When I heard that rumor, I fell silent. Honestly, I really would. Not long after we first got together, Ronan came back late from a drinking party. He saw the villa lights still on, and me waiting for him in the living room. The moment he walked in, I hurried over, gently helped him to the sofa, then went to the kitchen to cook him some hangover soup. As for the auntie, simple. I'd sent her away to sell my persona. Ronan lounged against the sofa, his knuckles lazily braced at his temple. When I carried the hangover soup over to him, I happened to meet his pitch-black gaze. Aren't you going to ask where I went? I lowered my eyes, meek and deferential. How would I dare? As long as you're happy. I could feel Ronan's cool, measuring stare settle on me. The living room was so quiet you could hear a pin drop. After a moment, he let out a short laugh and looked away, bored. The system sighed in admiration. Host, you act so well. You flatter me. The Kent family looked like glittering old money, noble and dazzling. But beneath the surface, there were plenty of undercurrents. When Ronan's mother was dying in childbirth, Dad Kent was out in a hotel with another woman. At her funeral, his ghost of a figure didn't even show up. In less than a month, he carried the mistress straight into the Kent family. Oh, and he brought a bastard son with her. Ronan's upbringing could only be described as a storm of blood and knives. That he could now control most of the Kent family's power was nothing short of astonishing. I suspected that if not for the male lead halo, he would have been poisoned 800 times over while he was still in swaddling clothes. According to the plot, in Ronan's eyes, compared to his previous women, I was only slightly more obedient, and just as mind-numbingly boring. Until the female lead, Anna Perry, appeared. A radiant, independent beauty, finally someone who stirred his interest. Today was the day the female lead confessed to Ronan. He'd definitely come back very late. Maybe he'd even spend the night out, and when he returned, he'd kick me to the curb. I happily danced a little number right there in the living room. Then, suddenly, bang! An antique vase on the cabinet got caught by my skirt and toppled to the floor, shattering into pieces. My body went rigid as I sucked in a sharp breath. This was a vase Ronan had bought at auction. Its value had more zeros than my bank account. Host, stop staring. Staring won't make it magically hop back into one piece. The system comforted me. Quick, hide the shards. The male lead won't notice a tiny little vase. Good point. The crown prince wouldn't bother remembering the living room decor. I hurriedly gathered all the pieces into a bag, then stuffed it under the bed in Ronan's bedroom. System, huh? I grinned smugly. What do you know? The most dangerous place is the safest place. If I tossed it in the trash and the auntie saw it, what if she snitched to Ronan? I never expected that the moment I finished disposing of the evidence, Ronan's car would roll to a stop in front of the door. Shocked, I blurted, "Why are you back?" He lifted a brow. "Why can't I be back?" I immediately corrected myself. "I mean, it's rare for you to come back this early." Ronan was a busy man. He often returned to the estate very late. Sometimes, the crown prince wouldn't show up for days. When he traveled for a week or two on business, I still had to stick to my love him to death persona outside, acting like I couldn't eat, couldn't sleep, depressed and miserable. In reality, with this huge villa all to myself, it was fucking bliss. But in everyone else's eyes, I was pitiful. After all, as Ronan's girlfriend, he didn't care about me at all. Whenever I heard those comments, I'd immediately rush to explain for him. A textbook lovesick, fragile little white flower. Ronan had a trench coat draped over his arm. Half leaning against the doorframe, his brows and eyes were full of casual indifference. "There's a banquet tonight. You're going out with me." My eyes widened in disbelief. "Me? You're taking me?" He looked perfectly at ease. "If not you, then who? Aren't you my—" Ronan paused, then let out a cold, quiet laugh. "Girl. Friend." The sarcasm hit max level. I didn't expect him to bring up last night again. I forced a laugh and ducked into the bedroom at lightning speed to change. I urgently called the system. Tonight is the day the female lead confesses to him. Why is he coming back? The system was confused too. "I don't know, host." The male lead didn't even go to the place the female lead arranged to meet him today. Ronan was still waiting downstairs. I didn't have time to think, so I shot straight into his car. There was still a while before the banquet started, so I had the driver stop at the mall. I'd had my eye on a new bag before, but I hadn't come to buy it yet. The moment I stepped into the store, I couldn't move, my eyes lighting up. This one, and that one. I pointed like I was conquering the world, acting like money was no object. The sales associate beside me smiled so hard her mouth wouldn't close. Ronan leaned against the wall, posture lazy, head lowered as he played with the lighter in his hand. Except for these few, everything else, I'll take. The sales associate? Ronan lazily lifted his eyelids. Honestly, I loved shopping. I'd just been holding back because of the persona. I'd never asked Ronan to buy me luxury goods, always acting obedient and sensible. The kind of female lead he liked was bright and vivid, and all I needed to do was behave and finish my background bored ex-girlfriend plotline. My life's ambition was to become exactly the type he hated most. System, host, endurance is victory. In my heart, sorrow surged like a flood. But now my persona had collapsed, no one could stop these hands of mine. After picking out the bags, I looked up at Ronan with wide, pleading eyes. He looked at me with a half-smile that wasn't quite a smile. I blinked my big eyes at him. Expressionless, he slapped his card onto the counter. Fuck. The crown prince tossing his card with a cold face was so damn hot. I instantly got excited and looped my arm through his, ignoring the look in his eyes that could freeze a person to death, and dragged him into the next store. Then I released him without a shred of attachment and ran off to pick clothes like a kid let loose. This luxury brand was ridiculously expensive, every item came with a string of zeros. I'd never dared to buy anything before. Ronan might have the world's sourest face, but whatever, he could throw down his card. At the banquet, I put my persona back on. After symbolically smiling and greeting a few people, I darted straight to a corner to eat desserts. Everyone knew I was only Ronan's girlfriend in name. At events like this, I usually didn't have to do anything. At some point, I noticed a probing gaze resting on me for quite a while. Host, it's Anna Perry. Oh. I didn't even lift my head, just kept eating my little cake. She's looking at you, aren't you bothered, host? Normal. On the surface, I'm her love rival. Let her look. I'm not going to lose a chunk of flesh. After a while, the female lead is talking to the male lead right now. Oh. I continued happily devouring my dessert without even glancing in their direction. I'd committed to being a dead fish with a perfectly clear conscience. When the system saw I wasn't interested, it stopped talking and went back to eagerly spectating the drama over there. Full, happy, and loaded down with a pile of new bags and clothes, I felt like even the wind smelled sweet on the way back. After I got out of the car, I was so cheerful I even started humming. Ronan said, in a faint voice, "That happy?" Of course. You have no idea how miserable I was when I was pretending. The moment I realized who I was talking to, my smile froze on my face. My throat bobbed. I immediately changed my tune. "I'm happy as long as it's something you gave me." So, he drawled, "You're saying I treated you badly before?" Like hell. You couldn't even be bothered to look at me. I chose to dodge the death question, pretended I hadn't heard him, and bolted inside like my life depended on it. Ronan watched my panicked retreat with leisurely amusement. After a long moment, he let out an interested hum of laughter. It felt like Ronan was coming back more and more often lately, probably just to spite me. When he came home, I was pouring takeout into a plate. Ronan's gaze drifted quietly to the takeout boxes in the kitchen. I fell silent. Listen, I can explain. Cooking is a required skill for a lovesick, fragile little white flower type. But when I tried in private, the probability of producing a culinary horror was a full 100%. Even something as simple as frying an egg, somehow I could burn it beyond recognition. I had no choice. Every time, I secretly ordered delivery, then poured it into plates. So whenever Ronan came back, what he saw was always a table of food that looked, smelled, and tasted perfect. Ronan wasn't wearing a tie today. 2 buttons were undone at the collar of his black shirt, and with that face of his, it gave him an abstinent, dangerously tempting vibe. He raised a brow. "How did you deal with the takeout boxes before?" At this point, I could only tell the truth. I bribed the neighbor's kid to throw them away far from here. He didn't respond. He went out to the balcony to smoke. A spark flared at his fingertips. Blue-white smoke blurred his face. Suddenly, his gaze fixed on a potted flower on the balcony. He pulled out his phone and opened his photo album. In the picture, the flower had originally been purple, now it had become the pink one sitting on the balcony. I'd been secretly watching him. The moment I remembered something, my expression changed and I turned to run. "Sarah. First and last name." Ronan's voice was colder than the December wind. I shuddered. That flower was something he'd bought before, some rare, expensive variety. But I was basically a plant serial killer. Whatever I raised, died. That pot died fast. At first, I'd been terrified Ronan would notice, so I'd racked my brain to buy an identical one and put it back in the exact same spot. Then I killed another. And another. Every time I bought one, my heart bled. But later, I realized Ronan didn't pay attention at all, so I finally relaxed. At first, I at least tried to get something similar. Later, I got more and more perfunctory, any pot of flowers would do. I could only force myself to explain. Your flower unfortunately passed away a while ago. I was afraid you'd be sad, so I bought another one and put it there for you. He laughed in anger. So this is the trash flower you bought? You think I don't know this is the discounted kind from the flower shop? I was shocked. How do you know? The tag you tore off is still in the trash can. Ronan didn't say another word after that. Like he couldn't be bothered to look at me, he took a shower and went back to his bedroom. In a bathrobe, he leaned against the headboard, replying to messages with lazy indifference. Then something flashed through his mind. Wasn't that corner in the living room kind of empty? Like something was missing, that antique vase slowly surfaced in his thoughts. His eyelid twitched. A sudden bolt of insight hit him. Sure enough, he fished a bag of broken porcelain shards out from under the bed. From the pattern, it was clearly the one he'd won at auction a while back. Ronan's temples throbbed. He laughed in anger again. He didn't need to think to know who did it. Sarah. Get your ass over here. The system trembled. Host. What do we do? The antique shards got discovered. I locked my bedroom door, wrapped myself in the blanket, and played deaf. I didn't hear it. The moment I closed my eyes, the zeros on the price tag behind that sky-high vase haunted me like a vicious ghost. Help. If that petty bastard Ronan makes me pay for it, what then? I tossed and turned until I couldn't sleep. Throwing off the blanket, I listened at the crack under the door. Once I judged Ronan had already gone to bed, I tiptoed downstairs. I collapsed on the sofa like Guyu, slurping a sip of my beloved sugary soda. This huge screen makes binge-watching so damn good. In the middle of the night, Ronan came downstairs to get water. His eyelid jumped violently. He closed his eyes and rubbed his aching temple. I didn't notice a thing. I was already drowning in the sea of TV drama. Ronan took a deep breath, voice cold. Sarah. Holy shit. I jolted in fright, my swollen, walnut-like eyes meeting his dark, heavy gaze. On the table, tissues used to wipe snot and tears had piled into a small mountain. The screenwriter insisted on stabbing hearts. I couldn't stop crying. My need to vent to someone was overwhelming. Woo-woo, Ronan, you tell me, I cried so hard I hiccuped, humiliatingly. You tell me why they can't be together, woo-woo-woo. For the first time in his life, he found himself thinking how good my previously, pretend, soft, considerate white flower persona had been. Sarah, I'm ordering you, right now, this instant, immediately, turn off the TV and go upstairs to sleep. Why are you so mean, woo-woo? No wonder you still don't have a wife, woo-woo. The crown prince, usually cool and restrained in public, had veins bulging at his temple. The next second, I felt my clothes grabbed at the back of the neck. Then Ronan lifted me up and dumped me back into my room like tossing out trash. He shot me a knife of a look. If you dare wail downstairs in the middle of the night again, I'll break your legs. Petty. I muttered, you're nosier than the ocean is wide. Sarah. Okay. The system sighed with emotion. Host, being able to piss Ronan off like this, you're really something. Me, you flatter me. Sigh. Big families are just full of bullshit. Today, I don't know what got into Ronan, he dragged me to his company. He probably realized how shamelessly I was indulging myself alone in the villa. He just couldn't stand seeing me happy. As the publicly registered girlfriend of the young master of the Kent family, I'd actually never been here. Just as I was bored out of my mind, wandering around with my thermos cup in hand, I ran into someone blocking Ronan's path. Zachary Kent's face was twisted with rage. Ronan, my dad doesn't even favor you. And you still dare fight me for the Kent family? What kind of third-rate cannon fodder line is that, crawled out of which ditch? Ronan had one hand in his pocket, eyelids lowered lazily, the same cold, aloof look as always. But for some reason, I felt like there was no living warmth in him at all. Host, that's the bastard's son, Zachary Kent. Oh. You're this grown and you're still going, your dad, my dad. Speechless, I shoved him aside from behind. Move, bro. You're blocking the way. Zachary flew into a rage from humiliation. Where did this slut come from? Do you know who I am? I couldn't be bothered to respond. Ronan controlling most of the Kent family had jack shit to do with his father. This guy could only hop around here barking threats. He had zero actual ability. I blew on my thermos cup and looked up at Ronan. When are you letting me go back? This place is boring as hell. Ronan lifted his eyelids slightly, gave Zachary a light glance. Then he looked at me, the corner of his lips hooking up. Whenever they get off work, that's when you go back. Pure revenge. Zachary, treated like air, went green with anger. Do you know what happens when you offend me? I didn't even spare him a look. Pinching my nose, I walked straight away. So stinky, who's farting? As I passed Ronan, I thought I heard him chuckle softly. Host, you're so bold. I took a sip of my wellness tea. Easy. Suddenly, I saw someone run up in a panic. He kept bowing fearfully to Ronan, sweating hard. I'm sorry, President Kent, I'm sorry, we accidentally let him come up. Everyone knew President Kent never gave people who made mistakes a second chance. When he cut staff, he did it without mercy. But he still has a wife and kids and elders to support. Just when he was about to despair, a lazy sentence drifted down from above, throw Zachary out. There won't be a next time. The man lit up with joy, bowing repeatedly. Thank you, President Kent. Thank you, President Kent. I clicked my tongue. Didn't expect Ronan to have a bit of humanity in him. The moment I got off work, I was cornered in an alley. Behind Zachary were a few burly men in black. He bared his teeth in a vicious grin. Bitch. You dared talk to me like that earlier. I can't touch Ronan, but I can't touch you. I want to see you tortured to death. Seriously, could you be any more of a stereotype for cannon fodder? I looked up at the sky, speechless. Setting my bag carefully to the side, I crooked a finger at him. Come on. Let's get this over with. The sooner it's done, the sooner I can go home and eat dinner. Zachary sneered. Didn't expect a woman like you to be so slut. Before he could finish, his face snapped to the side with a vicious punch. I rolled my wrist. Villains die from talking too much. In the alley, the black-clad men lay sprawled in all directions. What a waste of a name, Zachary. You should be called Piggy instead. I looked down at Zachary's bruised, swollen face. My karate and sanda weren't for show. And this was supposed to be enough to corner me? I could drop one of you with a single punch. My high heel came down hard beside his crotch. I watched with satisfaction as he jolted in terror. I bared my teeth too, copying his threats with a vicious grin. Try causing trouble for me or Ronan again, and you can look forward to becoming a eunuch. Then I swung my bag over my shoulder and strode off, head high and proud. In a shadowy corner I hadn't noticed, Ronan and his secretary. The secretary wiped sweat off his forehead, laughing awkwardly. Dee didn't expect Miss Hope to be this formidable. Ronan leaned against the wall. Long fingers held a cigarette, pale smoke blurring whatever emotion lay in his eyes. Quietly, he watched the figure ahead, high heels clicking, all wind and fire. After a long while, he crushed the cigarette but under the toe of his shoe, and a low laugh shook in his chest. System, do you think Ronan has some kind of masochist streak? I treat him like this, and he's still keeping me in the girlfriend seat. By rights, at this point, the female lead Anna should already be with Ronan. Only the beloved gets to be the official wife. Unloved me? I have zero interest in being a mistress. While Ronan wasn't home, I started tearing through drawers and cabinets, urgently packing my bags. This necklace, this bracelet, that pearl, take them. I can sell them for money. This bag, that bag, take them. I can sell them for money. This dress, that dress, take them. I can sell them for money. Just as I was packing with gusto, sweating hard. A chill crawled up my spine. I looked up and met Ronan's gaze, half smiling, half not. Oh no. I'm done. I just thought the room was messy, so I'm tidying up, haha. Ronan's lips hooked in amusement. His voice held a slow, meaningful drawl. Is that so? I gritted my teeth and lied through it. Yeah. Don't you think it looks a lot neater? Ronan's eyes traveled over me with leisurely interest, and my scalp tingled. Only then did he speak, unhurried. It does. I thought Miss Hope was going to run off with my things. President Kent, you really like joking, haha. Host, Ronan's out now, let's run. I drooped. No. The system short-circuited. Huh? Host, didn't you really want to escape? You even scouted the route. I'm afraid he'll sue me for theft. At 11 at night, Ronan still hadn't come back. Yesterday, when I'd been scouting the escape route, I'd passed a barbecue stall. The smell had haunted my dreams. I couldn't run, but now that I thought of it, the craving scratched at my heart until I couldn't stand it. I tightened my trench coat, wanting to brave the freezing wind to buy some. But the second I stepped outside, I immediately withdrew my foot like an emergency recall. So damn cold. I stamped my feet in a panic, torn between staying alive and getting barbecue. Hello, President Kent, where are you? My voice was so sweet it could drip. On the other end, Ronan lounged on a private room sofa, long legs crossed lazily. His brows and eyes were full of casual indifference, his whole body radiating that high and mighty elegance of someone who controlled everything. He lifted a brow. I have to report even this to you, girlfriend? I ignored his sarcasm and coaxed him in a soft, spoiled tone. Tell me. Ronan's lips curved with unmistakable amusement, and he gave me the location. Yes. Great, then you. Could you bring me barbecue from the stall on the next street over? Afraid he'd refuse, I rushed to add, it's not far. You'll be there in no time if you drive. The fingers holding his phone tightened, inch by inch, until the knuckles went white. He squeezed out my name through clenched teeth. Sarah. I panicked and hung up immediately. Fine, don't buy it then. Why the hell are you yelling my full name? Inside the private room. Ronan stared at the call that had been cut off, his face dark as thunderclouds. He didn't say a word. Everyone inside exchanged looks, and the room quickly fell silent. Someone asked carefully, Ronan, is something wrong? You guys have fun. I'm leaving. Ronan let out a low, cold laugh, grabbed his coat, and strode out. Anna, who had just been about to walk over, When Ronan got back, I was playing games with Monica. The fight was intense. Hit him, kill him and steal his loot. It wasn't until the couch beside me dipped slightly that I noticed Ronan. He said flatly, come here. What for? Come here and put medicine on me. In the middle of my chaos, I glanced at him and saw a cut on his arm, blood seeping faintly. I dropped my eyes and kept firing off ultimates. Wait. Veins bulged at Ronan's temple. Finally, he snapped. Sarah. Why are you shouting? I'm coming. Sigh. He was still my sugar daddy for now. Reluctantly, I put down my phone and called to Monica, if someone comes close, yell for me right away. Before my persona collapsed, whenever Ronan got hurt, I would act terrified, eyes reddening as I scrambled for the first aid kit. Then I'd disinfect him carefully, speaking softly and gently. Ronan never even looked at me. Every time, he just lounged on the sofa like a lord. TCH. He acted like a noble young master, and I looked like some lovesick lapdog. Suddenly. Sarah. Quick, someone's coming. I got excited and my hand pressed down harder. Ronan hissed. The calm expression on his face twisted slightly with pain. Ronan's temples throbbed. Sarah. I'd already snatched up my phone and was back in battle mode, not even looking up. Busy. The iodine's on the table, put it on yourself. Just then, the butler walked in with a bag. A mouth-watering smell floated out, making me start drooling on the spot. He hesitated, looking at Ronan. Young master, the things you told me to bring up from the car just now, are they? Ronan's voice turned icy. Throw them away. I wouldn't even give it to a dog, let alone her. No. I gasped, lunging for the butler. But the bag reached Ronan first. He lifted it high, looking at me with a half-smile. I hopped anxiously, but no matter what, I couldn't reach it. Ronan, how can you be so petty? Ronan let out a disdainful chuckle. Yeah. So what? Bang. I slammed my wineglass down hard on the bar. How could he be that petty? I didn't ignore him once on purpose, was it really that serious? Yes, I still didn't get to eat barbecue in the end. I'd been holding it in for days. I couldn't take it anymore, so I floored the gas and dragged my best friend to a bar. When Monica first saw me, she stared, scanning me from head to toe. She couldn't believe it. I thought you'd be missing an arm or a leg after Ronan hauled you back. Now. Monica swirled her drink and laughed. That young master of the Kent family always had a bad temper. I tipped my head back and gulped until the glass was empty. I fumed. I used to pretend to be all gentle and sweet, checking on him every day, being so considerate I should have won an award, and he didn't even bother acknowledging me. Cold-faced every day, like I owed him 8 million. Maybe it was the lighting, but even the ice cubes in my glass had double shadows now. I slapped the bar again. Now I barely even show up in front of him. I'm just a bit more of a lazy dead fish, and he throws tantrums like crazy. This is outrageous. I tipped my head back and chugged another glass. Monica frowned suspiciously. Weird, could it be Ronan's temper has actually gotten better lately? Better? That's what you call better? Why are you defending him? Monica hurried to soothe me. Okay. He's the worst-tempered, worst character. We won't bother with him. Sarah, stop drinking. I waved her off, swaying my head. It's fine. By the time I got back to the estate, it was already past midnight. The living room was pitch black. The moment I turned on the lights, the silhouette on the sofa scared me so badly my heart nearly stopped. Ronan, are you sick? Why didn't you turn on a light? Ronan narrowed his eyes. Sarah, your guts are getting bigger and bigger. I couldn't reach you. You didn't answer calls, didn't reply to messages, and you drank outside until midnight. Are you trying to ascend to heaven? His tone was colder than the December wind. Why are you so fierce? It's the 21st century, why are you still so futile? What's wrong with coming back a little late? Besides, it's not like I hired male escorts outside. You're way too controlling. As I rambled, my eyes had already closed on the sofa. Ronan shut his eyes briefly, swallowed back whatever curse he wanted to throw at me, and took a deep breath. Sarah. Get up. Go upstairs and sleep. I hummed in response, not moving. Ronan clicked his tongue impatiently and called my name again. You're so noisy. Half asleep, I spread my arms. Hug. Ronan froze. The living room fell so silent you could hear a pin drop. I waited a while. The person in front of me still didn't move. I frowned and waved my arms impatiently. Hug me. A long time passed, so long I almost thought the person in front of me was a statue. Then the faint scent of cedar filled my arms. Warm enough to make me feel safe. In my haze, I seemed to hear someone sigh at my ear, very softly, very helplessly. Sarah, you heartless little thing. I don't know why, but Ronan's been acting weird these past few days. His expression looks like a painter's palette, complicated and ever-changing. When no one's around, sometimes he hooks his lips in quiet amusement, sometimes he knits his brows tightly, sometimes he clicks his tongue in irritation, sometimes he props his chin and thinks, I suspect the crown prince has hit male menopause. The system looked like it had something to say too, but it refused to tell me anything. Just as I was harshly interrogating it, my phone pinged. My face instantly turned into a rainbow of emotions. Oh ho! The female lead wants to talk with me. I stared up at the ceiling, wailing. System, so it's finally here. The official wife is coming to assert her dominance and lecture me, the mistress. Everyone knew the supporting female lead could never beat the female lead. One host and one system cried together, hugging our heads. Host is so pitiful, woo woo woo. No. I can't walk into this hangmen banquet with zero preparation. That day, the moment Ronan got home, I latched onto him. My voice was so gentle it could drip. President Kent, you're back. Are you hungry? Ronan folded his arms and leaned against the wall, one brow lifting. Spit it out. What did you break this time? Or what bag did you set your sights on now? Haha, you're so funny. As I spoke, I even gave his chest a light little punch. I just missed you, okay? I was worried you'd be too tired out there. Sarah. Speak human. I straightened up immediately, all business. I've realized that even though we've known each other for so long, I still don't really understand you. We need deeper communication. Yes, before, even when I ordered takeout, I only ordered what I liked. Anyway, Ronan, who never really paid attention to me, wouldn't be able to tell. Like, do you prefer sour, sweet, bitter, or spicy? What's your favorite dish? Any foods you avoid? What's your favorite color? Favorite weather? How many bank cards do you have? Ronan paused, looking at me like he didn't know whether to laugh or cry. Then he met my sincere eyes. Whatever he thought of, his mood seemed to lift, and the corner of his mouth curved. He answered in that effortless, offhand way, while I stood at the side with a little notebook, writing seriously, nodding like a pecking chick. By the time the sky had fully darkened, I tucked the notebook away, ignored the Ronan behind me who was smiling like a blooming flower, and went upstairs humming in satisfaction. Bang! The next day, I marched into the cafe, proud as a general. The moment I walked in, I smugly slapped the notebook down on the table. Anna, huh? Was I giving her a warning shot? Before she could say anything, I rattled it all off in one breath. This is the color of Ronan's favorite underwear, how many properties he has, how many bank cards he has, his favorite dish. By the time I finished reading the whole table of contents, I was so thirsty I tilted back a glass of water. It took Anna a long time to recover. Her expression turned complicated. Are you trying to say you know Ronan far better than I do, and I'm not worthy of him? Me, what? Girl, how could you think that? You're the female lead, the female lead. I hurriedly stuffed the notebook into Anna's arms. Sis, with this, taking Ronan down will be easy. Anna's face instantly went kaleidoscopic. She opened her mouth a few times and still couldn't squeeze out a word. In my head, I bragged to the system, humph. As long as I don't give the female lead a chance to speak, she can't hurt me. Genius move, host. I patted Anna's shoulder. You've got this, sis. Just as I was about to keep force-feeding her motivational chicken soup, I turned my head, and met Ronan's gaze through the glass window outside. Ronan sat in the back seat. The window was rolled down, and he looked at me without expression. Oh my God. I hurriedly said a rushed goodbye to Anna and dove into the car in one smooth sprint. Anna, who hadn't managed to say more than a single sentence the entire time. Ronan propped his head on one hand, eyes narrowing. You know Anna? Cold sweat slicked my palms. Thank God I'd already stuffed the notebook into Anna's arms. Haha, yeah. We talked at the banquet. Close? So close, hit it off at first sight, doesn't even cover it. I averted my eyes guiltily, staring at the sky, the ground, anything but Ronan. The female lead was about to make her move. Then I should tidy up and step aside for her too. Sigh. I really was working myself to death as an ex. I picked a night when it was dark, the wind was high, and Ronan happened to be in a good mood. At the dinner table, I asked, when are you breaking up with me? Ronan's hand paused midair with the chopsticks. He looked up at me. Say that again. I said, when are you breaking up with me? Ronan's eyes narrowed. Because I didn't let you go out and fool around with Monica? If you really want to go out, once I'm done being busy for a while, I can take you. I waved him off. No, no, no. Look, I know you don't like me. The only reason you haven't dumped me yet is because you found out I lied to you last time. I'm apologizing, okay? Let's stop acting. I know you like Anna. If you keep dragging it out, your wife's going to run away. Ronan's face was blank as he looked at me. Hey, you're the crown prince. You should be open and straightforward. Don't worry. I won't let you lose face. I'll tell everyone you dumped me. I reached out and patted him, watching him expectantly. Well? How about it? Ronan lowered his eyelids and stared coldly at my hand for a moment. Then he stood, looking down at me from above. His brows and eyes were full of distance and frost. Like it had snapped back to the first time I met him. Ronan tugged at the corner of his mouth. Sarah, you're something else. There was a hint of mockery in it. A smile hung on his lips, but there was no smile in his eyes. Staring at the now empty living room, I asked the system, so? I handled that well, right? The system looked like it wanted to speak and didn't. It stayed silent. Finally, it asked, Host, are you happy? I lowered my gaze. Of course. I woke up to pain on my lips. Ronan's cedar scent was laced with cold wind and alcohol. His kiss was fiercely possessive, shockingly forceful. Ruthless, like he wanted to tear me apart and swallow me whole. My eyes flew wide open and I struggled. Useless. Ronan held my head in place. Sarah. Ronan's voice was hoarse beyond belief, tender and sultry, filling the entire room. I tried to push him away and speak, but my mouth was sealed again. This kiss was gentle. Like he was handling something fragile, Ronan brushed and ground softly against my lips. He closed his eyes, cradled my head with tender force, deepened the kiss, his tongue slipping in. I jolted fully awake, scrambling off the bed and stumbling away. At the doorway, my legs went weak. Trembling, I pointed at him. Ronan, you. You're drunk. With a bang, I slammed the door shut. I didn't know. In the darkness, Ronan's eyes sank toward the door, utterly clear. Not drunk at all. That night, I packed in a frenzy and fled to Monica's place. In the middle of the night, I dragged her out of bed, clutching her hands as I shook. Go. Right now, go. Monica stared at me, completely lost. Go where? Anywhere. Book plane tickets, now. Still dazed, Monica let me grab her fingers and start booking tickets. I stuffed clothes into her suitcase at top speed, yanked her up, and ran. When we arrived in City B, Monica was still in a trance. Wait, what is this? What are we doing? My expression was indescribable. Ronan's starting to go crazy. Her eyes lit up, curiosity flaring as she pressed me. I refused to say a word. As if Monica, whose exes could probably form a soccer team if you gathered them, found out, she'd definitely laugh at me for being pathetic. I sprawled lazily on a lounge chair. Warm sunlight made me feel like I was melting. This was life. Not staring at Ronan, that iceberg, all day long. I lived like a salted fish for a full week. So, I asked, how's that little puppy of yours? Monica twirled a strand of her big wavy hair. SOSO. He's a kid, you know, clingy as hell. I'm thinking about breaking up with him. Puppies are great. Young, energetic. I slurped my fruit juice and sighed. Then, is that so? You want to find a little puppy too? Without thinking, I nodded. Of course. The moment the words left my mouth, I froze. Why did that voice sound so sinister, and so familiar, cold as ice shards? Suddenly, I ripped off the blanket on me and tried to run barefoot, not even bothering to put on shoes, only to realize I couldn't move. Ronan held my collar from behind, smiling faintly. What are you running for? Oh my god, oh my god, oh my god. Help, help, help. Sensing danger, Monica shot me a look and immediately greased her saws and fled. Truthfully, she was a little afraid of what Ronan looked like when he was angry. Ronan had always been the other people's child in parents' mouths. Fast-tracked all the way through school, then ran the Kent family company so smoothly it kept booming. Her parents nagged her about him non-stop. And now I was alone. I looked up at Ronan and smiled awkwardly. What a coincidence. You're vacationing here too? Ronan's smile didn't reach his eyes. Very coincidental. Sarah. Every hair on my body stood up. Yes. Ronan bent down, his voice soft against my ear. Try running that far again, and I'll break your legs. At the cafe, I sat across from Anna, utterly wilted. What's going on with you and Ronan? Isn't the Kent family company surrounded by wolves in front and tigers behind? He came all the way out here to catch me. He has way too much time on his hands. Anna looked complicated. Actually, President Kent told me a long time ago he's not interested in me. My eyes went wide. I couldn't believe it. How could that be? Aren't you his perfect type? Anna, honestly? I think he's pretty scary when he's mad. That won't do. I was about to defend Ronan when the bell above the door jingled. Anna. The voice was gentle enough to drip. Anna's eyes lit up. She went up and looped her arm through the newcomer's, smiling sweetly. And I've already found my destiny. Charlie Dawson smiled, indulgent, and flicked her nose. Charlie Dawson, the second male lead. I stayed frozen where I was, like I'd been struck by lightning in broad daylight. I'm done. Everything's gone off the rails. On the way back, my head was still spinning. A year ago, the system found me. All I had to do was complete the transitional plot before the male and female leads romance line officially started, and it would gift me a world tour package. Well, great. Now the female lead and the second male lead were together. My package just flew away. Back at the villa, Ronan was wearing gold-rimmed glasses, reviewing documents. Paired with that beauty mark at the corner of his eye, it gave him an abstinent, dangerously tempting vibe. Of course, it didn't tempt my utterly dazed self. Ronan, you fell for me. I pointed at myself, incredulous. After thinking it through, there was only one answer. Ronan paused, probably not expecting me to be this direct. He lifted a brow, neither confirming nor denying, then nodded. My pupils shook. What do you even like about me? That I love eating and sleeping? Or that I'm broke? Are you insane? Ronan took off his glasses and laughed softly. Don't think you can charm your way out of this just because you smile like a male siren. A black card and a set of property documents slid across the desk. Ronan's peach blossom eyes curved, his smile dangerously captivating. Sarah. Consider me. Ronan was offering way too much. I couldn't even be bothered to move, and decided I could stay in the girlfriend seat a little longer. But, system, what about your mission? Honestly, I didn't know how it had survived this long. Dumb as a rock. In my head, the system recited a few lines of Buddhist scripture, calm as still water. It's fine, host. Worst case, I'll be destroyed. I was horrified. No, no, no. That won't do. It's that serious, system. Ha 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 ha, I'm kidding, host. My rank is very high. I'm going to the next world to do missions now. I had a lot of fun playing with you during this time. Be happy, host. Ronan, extra. Ronan had actually seen Sarah before. In an alley. Curses and vicious laughter echoed inside, mixed with fists, kicks, and faint cries for help. Everyone passing by only hurried their steps, not wanting to get involved. A spark glowed at Ronan's fingertips. His expression was indifferent, one hand tucked lazily into the pocket of his black coat, not sparing that direction a single glance. Things like this happened all the time. In the Kent family, he'd seen things darker and crueler than this. No blood, yet it could still push someone into the abyss with ease. Suddenly. Hey! A girl's clear shout, full of swagger. Ronan's steps stopped. What are you doing? Before she even rushed into the alley, her backpack was already flung hard. Then the alley erupted into chaos. Brainless, meaningless heroics. Ronan lowered his eyelids and let out a scoff, thinking. He found it boring and was about to leave. When he saw a high ponytail silhouette pulling a boy in a school uniform, covered in bruises, out of the alley. The skinny boy's face was drenched in tears. He trembled as he bowed over and over. Ah, it's nothing. The girl was in a school uniform too. She patted his shoulder. Same uniform, we're from the same school. If this happens again, come find me in class 1. Don't worry about bothering me, and don't worry about those scum causing trouble for me. She blinked playfully. Relax. They can't beat me. My name's Sarah. Ronan saw Sarah again. At a drinking party. Ronan lost a dice game, and the whole room immediately started heckling. He lounged lazily on the sofa, idly playing with the lighter in his hand. Young Master Kent, you said if you lose, you have to choose a girlfriend from this place. It was just a boring joke of a bet. If Ronan didn't state his stance, no one would dare force him. Ronan's long fingers held a cigarette. Smoke blurred the emotion in his eyes. Then, suddenly, he heard someone not far away call out, Sarah. A familiar name. Ronan lifted his eyes, the corner of his lips hooking slightly. He raised a hand casually and pointed at someone. Her. Sarah looked up, blankly confused. Boring. No different from the women before. Just as unimaginably dull. Past memories were like looking through frosted glass, blurred and indistinct. Just a shared name, that was all. When Ronan had had enough and was about to send her away, he ran into someone popping champagne in excitement. Wearing high heels every day is killing me, and I still have to keep up that half-dead act. Fuck, I'm finally free. He'd never been played this badly in his life. At first, Ronan only carried the irritation of being toyed with. He just wanted to waste some time and play along, see what tricks she could pull. He hadn't expected to end up staking himself in it. The estate, once dead and silent, became chaos under Sarah's hands. Like it had suddenly been injected with life, so vivid it made Ronan pause. Ronan could actually tell. Sarah didn't truly care about many things. He knew that under that bright, vivid shell, lived a soul that was cold and indifferent. A soul that had never stayed for anyone. Only passing through countless people's worlds, briefly, carelessly. Including his. It's fine, Ronan thought. He didn't need her to stay for him. Because he would follow her, wherever she went.